Greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet, and today we are going to be talking about who is and is not a real American. Now, ever since its inception, the United States of America has been a country founded by a handful of white immigrant religious separatists who didn't want to pay taxes and owned other people as property. This historical fact seems to offend and bother a lot of people who want to put the United States of America up on a pedestal like a superhero. And unfortunately, that's not a very fitting origin story for most superheroes. And so, ever since then, there has been a societal battle between different ideologies and beliefs, all of whom want to claim who is a real American, who can hold the flag, plant it in the ground, and say, I am a real American. Not you, but me. I'm a real American. I'm the most American-y American here. I'm wearing American flag underwear while holding a flag. I am Mas American. Wait, oh, Americans don't talk foreign talk. Got it. Now, while America has continued to be diverse and continue to grow and evolve as a society, there are a few times in history where a large portion of America banded together to, as a group, dictate who is and is not an American. The first time was after World War I, when a lot of workers and union groups went on strike and started doing things like demanding fairness and good wages, and well, all the conservative capitalists came together. They deemed those people to be communists, and they ran a fear campaign against the Bolsheviks, coming to establish communism in America. And that is how we got the Espionage Act, the Sedition Act, and the creation of the FBI. So Woodrow Wilson and all his goons could go around and kick out or imprison anybody in the United States of America who they deem to not be American enough. And then, of course, this happened again after World War II, as the United States was grappling with the horrible marketing problem of having spent the early part of World War II not participating. And the only thing that they really bothered to do was to send back boatloads of Jewish refugees so that they could go get put into camps, because the United States of America had no more room for a bunch of Jewish foreigners. And so between that and the fact that the communist Russians and those nasty Bolsheviks were the ones who took the brunt of the fighting to the Nazis for, almost a decade, well, America had a marketing problem. Please, here, enter Mr. McCarthy and Red Scare number 2. That's right, once again, the United States of America went out of its way to point and waggle the finger of recrimination at anybody they felt wasn't American enough. People who sympathized with the Russians who, killed off the fascist Nazi regime. Yeah, those people. And so McCarthy and all his patriotic goons once again rounded up liberals and educated people and foreigners and immigrants and non-white Christians and put the thumbscrews to them, pointed at them, and forced them back into their holes or back into whatever country they originally emigrated from. Because America is patriotic and only loves what the capitalist leaders of America love. That's how it goes. And so now we sit at the precipice of the beginning of a third Red Scare. Only this time, it is not being preceded by a world war, but rather a culture war. Allow me to show you who the newest participant is in the ring of virtue signaling patriotism. Here we go. There he is. It's our old friend, Gymnasium Jordan. Republican representative from the state of Ohio. Now, I know you're looking at the face and you're thinking, I'm not sure if I've seen this guy before. It's because normally when you see him on the news, you only see him from the neck down because he has his entire head firmly shoved up Donald Trump's ass. However, every once in a while, he pops it out to deliver a real humdinger like this one here. Real America is done with COVID-19. God bless. Well, thank you, Gymnasium Jordan, who is apparently now the arbiter of who is and is not a real American. Now, apparently, watching this football game at the University of Wisconsin with, I don't know, about 80,000 people crammed into a dome, the overwhelming majority of them very, very white, all wearing Trump red, loudly cheering and screaming and throwing their COVID particulates all over each other, giving COVID-19 the finger as if to say, we don't care anymore. That's right, to Gymnasium Jordan, this is real America. This is people who have decided, much like him, that COVID-19 is over. Sure, they got a vaccine, but now they're just going to go out and spread around particulates anyway, put themselves and other people at risk. And again, Gymnasium Jordan would have you believe that this type of behavior is what real Americans are doing. And that if you're not out celebrating whiteness, watching a gladiatorial sport while you pass along a pandemic back and forth between each other, well then, he questions whether you're really an American or not. Also, Gymnasium Jordan has also apparently named himself to be the arbiter of not only what is and is not American, but as well as when COVID is and is not over. So, lead scientist Gymnasium Jordan doing double duty. Now that means, of course, that Gymnasium Jordan would have you believe that none of these people are real Americans, because apparently they're not over COVID. Yeah, that's right. All of those people who are crammed into ICUs and hospitals all across the country with a garden hose crammed down their fucking throat and a plastic bag taped to their ass while they're in a medically induced coma, slowly drowning on all the fluid that's growing in their lungs. Yeah, none of these people are real Americans, according to Gymnasium Jordan. Why? Because obviously they didn't get the memo that COVID is over. Apparently, they still believe in COVID, or at least COVID still believes in them, but it doesn't matter. If you stoop to this kind of commie Bolshevik behavior, like going to a hospital to get treated for a pandemic, Gymnasium Jordan doesn't think you are a real American. Also, somebody better call Ron DeSantis, because apparently Gymnasium Jordan doesn't believe that Ron DeSantis, the people of the state of Florida, or the state of Florida itself, is actually part of real America. Why? Because apparently they still believe in COVID. Look at all that COVID happening in Florida. If that many people believe in COVID enough that they would contract COVID, then surely they are not real Americans. They must be commie libturds or antifers or something like that. So, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Ron DeSantis, you better get on the horn to Gymnasium Jordan and try to file an appeal against his fucking sanctions against you for not being a real American. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, damn, James seems to be going a little extra hard on Gymnasium Jordan today. He seems a little extra amped up. It's because I am. Why? Because number one, I don't like douchebags being the arbiter of who is and is not something, who does and does not belong. It's not anybody's fucking personal decision who does and does not belong. Least of all, hypocritical piece of shit, Gymnasium Jordan, who quite literally spent 12 years at the University of Ohio turning a blind eye to their wrestling doctor being a fucking sexual predator who preyed on close to a dozen different wrestlers over a 15-year span at the University of Ohio. Gymnasium Jordan, an assistant wrestling coach, had a locker right next to the guy, even named him the king of the sauna. Jokingly said numerous times to the guy in front of students, hey, don't try anything on me like you do with the other people. Yeah, Gymnasium Jordan, the guy who was outed by at least 8 former wrestlers who flat out, under oath, stated that Gymnasium Jordan knew that this prick was preying on people, that he was sexually molesting them, and that Gymnasium Jordan did nothing, which for the record seems to be his MO, because since he entered the house, Gymnasium Jordan has authored and passed exactly 0 pieces of legislation. So, yeah, I'm a little hard on Gymnasium Jordan because Gymnasium Jordan is absolute trash. Now, yes, I am sure there's a whole lot of people who call themselves patriotic who would say that I am not a, quote, real American because, I don't own American flagged Speedos gently cupping my boys. I'm not running off to buy tickets to the latest Toby Keith concert. I don't own a Ford F-150 with huge coal stacks on the side, blowing out black smoke. And of course, I do not rock a red MAGA hat. But let me give you all a little piece of information here. While the far left and the far right love to have this constant battle and go back and forth, one trying to prevent the other from gaining supremacy, the vast majority of people in this country, the vast majority of Americans, guess what? They're real Americans, and they don't want you fucking dictating who is and is not real Americans either. They're just not jumping onto YouTube making videos about it because they're real Americans. And in real America, you have to work 2 jobs, 80 hours a week, and then spend all your free time maintaining your car, your home, your taxes, your relationships, and if you have any time left over, I guess maybe your own mental or physical well-being by going to see a doctor or a licensed expert. That's what the majority of real Americans are busy doing, while Gymnasium Jordan is getting paid $185,000 a year with full medical and dental benefits to sit in Washington, D.C. and pass 0 pieces of legislation in more than a decade. So listen, everybody out there, if you live in the United States of America, guess what? You're an American. You are experiencing what it is to be American and to live in America in 2021. It means working extra hard, gaining very little, and being rest assured that your future is far dimmer than your past because people like Gymnasium Jordan exist and are trying to drive the national dialogue and tell people that a pandemic has ended simply because the big baby boy doesn't want to have to wear a face diaper, and that makes Daddy Trump very happy. Until next time, my name is James, I am from the internet, and I am out. Peace.